Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Don Marsh. There are a lot of smiles at U.S. Steel's Granite City operation this week. U.S. Steel announced it's firing up one of its blast furnaces and bringing 500 steelworkers back to work at the Granite City Works plant. 24 hours later, President Trump fulfilled a promise to hike tariffs on steel and aluminum. More good news for Granite City, potentially. I'm joined in studio by Dan Simmons, the president of Local 1899 of the Steelworkers Union in Granite City. Dan, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Do you want to wipe that smile off your face?
No, it's long overdue, and it's been long overdue and welcomed.
And, I'm sure there are a lot of smiles out there. It's been a long haul for you. How long has it been since you've really been at capacity over there?
We idled the facility the week of Christmas in 2015, December of 2015. So 2 years, two and a half months.
And how many people were put out of work by that?
Well, at that particular time, we were able to retain about 375 out of the 2,000 employees that was working at that time.
What does this announcement, first from U.S. Steel, mean? And we'll get to Donald Trump in a moment. What does it mean to the community?
Oh, this means a lot to that community. That community is built around that steel mill. The history goes way back to where that Niederinghaus brothers built that plant and the surrounding community for the house their workers. So this is one of those unique where you see a steel mill downtown and location of a city that is welcomed. Yeah. So this is it's hard to find someone in that town when I do some talks or speeches to some groups where I ask them to raise their hand if they have a family member that works there or a relative or even a close friend. And it's rare to see no hands raised. It's just that community, that close knit community. Somebody has so much ties to that plant.
Have most of the people who lost their jobs, have they stayed in the Granite City area?
Yes. If they don't live within the actual Granite City itself, the supporting communities around there, so yes, they've stayed. I've had a few of them that had to relocate and move on, sever, and had quite a few of them that were forced to retire due to the situation. They were close enough, and then healthcare reasons and stuff that they had to maintain their health care. But the majority of them have not found anything as good as the job they had there at Granite City. So they're ready to come back.
Have you run any numbers on what economically it has meant to the city to have all that payroll just suddenly stop?
Well, I have not, but I'm sure the chamber and the people that have been so helpful to that community, Mayor Hagnauers, to the chamber themselves. There's fundraisers after fundraisers and helping our guys to float through these bad times.
What kind of money were the steel workers making?
Well, they're good paying jobs. Our base entry level labor, somewhere around $20 an hour. We have an incentive groups that they vary from the departments on top of that, but the base wage is like $20 an hour, and we have pulpit jobs with greater amount of responsibilities. They pay around $34, $35 an hour. With some incentive package attached to those too.
Well, you multiply that by 1,500 people and 40-hour weeks and longer weeks than that. Sometimes you're talking a lot of money that just stopped.
Absolutely, and the part that people don't realize, we're focused on the actual members for U.S. Steel, the employees. Mm-hmm. But I've used this statement a long time, and it's been sent out there, and we've lived and experienced this. For every one steelworker job, there's 7 other jobs impacted by it. So it's not just the 1,200 workers that are now going to be back to work. 1,250 roughly we should be back up to. We still have some more to go, but majority of them that you take that times 7 because that's all these supporting centers. I represent not only the workers at the U.S. Steel plant, but the Stein Mill Services and the Tube City. Those are scrap yards, slag hauling. They all feed off that too. So we're talking about a lot more workers.
It's called a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
And it's easy to see why.
Yes.
Would this have happened, Dan, do you think, if President Trump had not indicated that he wanted to increase these tariffs?
Would this have happened? I've been arguing that we were probably there, and it should have happened, as we've seen an uptick in the demand. But the tip of the scale, absolutely. Or icing on the cake, yes. The 232 is clearly that buzz, and they probably because they announced it the day or two before he's actually signed it. They were pretty confident that that's what was going to happen. So yeah, that just eliminated some of the risk of the sustainability.
Well, do you think now that he has signed it, and we're talking about an increase of 25% in steel, do you think that it's likely to maybe fire up furnace number 2 at some point?
I would hope so, and I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that yes, should and could lead to our A furnace to be starting back up too. But
do you have any fears, as some people have expressed, many politicians have expressed, that this is going to lead to a trade war?
I don't have no fear at all at that. I believe that's all somewhat a straw man argument that and some fear in some of those employers that were feeding off that low priced illegal imported steel. So no, I don't have no fear in that at all.
Back to the pay issue and the economic issue, the workers who were displaced, they were earning something. There's something called some pay, a sub pay in the union world. What is that? And wasn't that just about to run out?
It had run out. Yeah, it had. But it's something that's supplemental income that we have negotiated through the contracts. That and on top of your unemployment, there is a sub pay. There's a subsidy that gets you a little closer to your scale of pay, but it's still quite a bit different from your active working and your pay. So, and that helps buy them some time. If we go through short durations layoff, as you know, historically, this has been an issue for some time in steel. In the steel industry, it's cyclical. And the imports have been an issue, and it started rolling back in the 10, 12, 13 years ago. We were squealing that, hey, look, we got to watch this. This is going to happen. These are government-subsidized facilities in China that we got to now compete against, and we can't. They're government-subsidized. They don't have to make any money. They're just employing their workers at the cost of our employment. So this has now come to fruition, and it hit us in late 2008, and we went through a 6.5 month idle then, and now we experience it again. But they're getting better and better at cheating the system, and they're moving product, even if it's not coming directly from China. They're running it through other countries, Vietnam, South Korea, where they don't produce it in their own, but where they're exporting to the United States illegally dumped steel.
Well, the president has exempted Mexico and Canada from this increase in the tariffs. And there are a lot of people suggesting that other countries could just run their steel through Canada and get it down here. Is that an issue, do you think?
No. We have a good trade experiences with them, and we trade well with them. We actually export more to Canada than they import. So we have good trade agreements with them. Mexico, we'll have to shore up probably a little bit with that. We're not, the jury's still out on that. But those exemptions from trade, we had no trade deficit with those countries. Probably would have been not fair to them to impose some tariffs on them.
As analysts have been looking at this, and you're well aware of what I'm about to say, I'm sure, is that 500 men and women, I suppose, back to work at Granite City, but that a lot of millions of people are going to be impacted by this because the steel is going to be more expensive for products that we buy here, and there may be a lot more than 500 jobs lost overall.
I believe that goes to that straw man argument, and these are arguments that are put up by some analysts who have no experience really in the steel industry. They're just crunching numbers. We've had some. When you took the tariff, the 10% tariff, let's take aluminum. If you and I would go have a drink tonight at the local bar, and we walk in there, and that tavern owner announced that, hey, price increase due to the tariffs at 10% on aluminum, it's going to cost us, and we did those numbers, it's less than a third of a cent per can. So I think that's not going to stop me from buying that can. I still buy that house drink and your drink myself.
You're buying? Okay,
yes,
I'm with you.
and I would apply that to the automobile industry too. We took a $35,000 car, and the amount and the profit margins is less than $1,000 on a car. To turn around and put that tariff on, attach that tariff to it, if that's where it came, it would be less than $80 to $100 a car for a $35,000 car. And to buy something and to create more jobs in the United States, I think that's a small price to pay.
Yeah, I've seen numbers on the cars all over the place on that, but the one that keeps coming up was something like the $100 figure that you just mentioned there. What is involved in getting this operation over there back up to speed?
Chaos to start with, but no, we've had contingency plans in the works for some time. It involves quite a bit. We had our B furnace, actually the furnace that they're bringing online, it was just rebuilt and it never was able to go online when they idled us. So that furnace is fairly close to being ready to go. Brand new brick.
Good as new.
It's good as new. Obviously sitting in machinery of that size, sitting for 2 years is not a good thing. So just some tweaking in the bugs and working out some of the tweers, and there's some talk around what you have to do to get a furnace lit back up. That's not that big an issue. We'll across the street, the steel making process, once it's blast furnaces are produce hot metal. Hot metal is transferred across the street in torpedo cars. That's where our steel shop. We'll have to do a little bit of shoring up in there, similar, getting all that process ready. But
I guess that means that people will be coming back kind of slowly and in batches, not everybody coming in at once.
No, it's pretty much all at once. We have
Really?
we have they've actually. Unbeknownst to me, they announced that agreement, and they were making calls. When I got hold of the plant manager, he said, "Oh, they started 2 hours ago calling." I said, "I'll be damned." So, and I find out now we have some will be actually hitting the plant. We have a lot of retraining. We have a lot of safety programs, and they'll go through all that before they even hit the floor. But there's a lot of labor-intensive work that can be done to get it all up and going, and then there's going to be an extensive amount of training. As you may remember, just prior to the idling, we just put that brand new caster in. Well, that caster is a very complicated piece of equipment that some of our talent and knowledge left with the retirements. So we'll have to do some more retraining and stuff. So they're jumping out ahead, and they're doing a good job of getting these guys back as of early as next week.
Wow, I was going to ask what the timetable is. And when will you actually see some steel rolling out the back door?
Well, that's a wild card. We could probably put $5 on a calendar, and we could do a tip, and we could probably see how close we get to it. But the U.S. Steel announced that it would be close to 4 months. We're hoping to beat that target. By how much? 3-4 weeks would be a lot. That'd be a challenge, but that's what we're looking for. Maybe about three months or plus.
You've indicated that technology has changed a little bit, equipment has changed a bit. Is there going to be some retraining necessary?
Yes, it will be. Yes, especially on that specific equipment, because that was a lot. That was a huge capital investment and modernized. That's the latest and greatest, newest caster in North America. Here we had it installed in the capital spending, and we ran it for 6 weeks, and they idled us. And we were able to run some specialty steel that no one else can run hardly in this country. It's a good facility.
We talk about making steel. What exactly is made? Are these steel bars or
no? We actually produce anything. Well, we're fully integrated, so we start from the rocks and we completely to the docks. We got it all there in Granite City. And what I mean by that is we're able to make all kinds of specialty steel. Our product itself is we produce a slab at the caster, and then that slab gets transferred over to the hot strip where we roll it up into a coil. And then from that coil, we sell it as regular hot band coils, and then that's appliance business, grain industry, stuff like that. Then we can, and also we have a finishing departments that we can take that same coil if the customer chooses to, and we can either galvalume or galvanize it and sell it as a coated product, which is a high value added product also.
And your customers buy it and then make whatever the heck they want to make.
Exactly. Yeah, everything from just like I said, small appliances, your washing machines, to grain, strong barn to we have some of the automotive ourselves, specialty steels.
Yeah. I had asked or mentioned a few moments ago that the men and women going back to work. Do you have many women on the line there?
Absolutely. Yes, we do. We have our fair share of Rosie the Riveter. That's what they coin those girls out there. But yeah, we have some women that work out there.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of people in the entire metropolitan area that are really, really happy that you guys and gals are getting back on the job there. Long overdue and obviously very, very necessary. Anything you want to add about this that we haven't discussed?
No, other than I've been telling these guys for a long time, fire up, and we're happy to have it. The smiles on the faces of the guys coming up and down my Union Hall is and they're ecstatic. That's probably the one word, ecstatic.
Not to mention the merchants in town.
I'm sure they are too.
Okay. Dan Simmons, thank you so much for being with us. Good luck to you and yours as you go back to work over there at Granite City.
Thank you very much.
Dan is the president of Local 1899 of the Steelworkers Union in Granite City. This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.